By now, I'm sure everybody has gotten wind of what happened on Undisputed with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless in the blow up that happened. Let me tell you right now, this might have been one of the biggest wake up calls all year. And it's crazy. It took to the end of the year for this to happen. Now, granted, while what happened on this episode in the clip that you're about to hear was extremely messed up on Skip Bayless' part, I'm not surprised that it happened. I'm not surprised that it came from him, because Skip Bayless has been like this with numerous black people, but we'll keep it in the realm of sports, black men in particular, for years. I was watching, no, actually I was watching and then I was a part of Blacklight Revelations 2 live stream that he did when he was talking about this, and he had pulled up a video that someone did of the receipts on Skip Bayless over the years of him disrespecting black athletes. Richard Sherman was one of them. It was a couple of others as well. But this situation right here, this is what I call a powder keg moment, where you really get towards the end of your rope, your fuse is lit and you're about to explode. So basically what happened was Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless got into a heated discussion. They were talking about Tampa Bay. As you know, Tampa Bay has Tom Brady on it. Skip Bayless will always hold Tom Brady up as this great white hype. That's why we keep talking about, that's why I got so upset when Tom Brady came back into the league. I'm like, dude, just retire. You're done. They literally have to build so much around you in order for you to remain relevant or keep some type of status, because you cannot do what you were doing 10, 15 years ago. You pretty much aged out of the game. Know when to leave. It's over. And Skip Bayless is always going to Skip Bayless is always holding up mediocrity. But that's what PC tends to do. You know how they always talk about when it comes to the best rappers, they always find a way to slip Eminem in there somewhere. So that's how I see it. Tom Brady is the Eminem of the NFL. I think that's the best way to describe it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this clip right here. Now the clip of the actual entire episode is way longer than what you're going to hear, but this 1 minute part that you're going to hear right here is the part that where the blow up happened, where everybody has been talking about for the last few days. And it's crazy. I actually had to go online to Twitter and type in Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless name into the search bar just to find this clip, because the actual clip on their page is so long and no one wanted to put where the damn timestamp was at.
Still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
That's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No.
I did what I
never
did.
said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better.
Okay, so let me just stop it right there. Now, this is the part where they're talking about when it comes to Tom Brady and whatnot. And the thing at the bottom of the screen, y'all can't see it. It says Tom Brady and Bucks fall to 6-7 after big games from Purdy and McCaffrey, which means they have lost more than they have won. They are not even in playoff standing right now. Let me just put that in. Let me just make that clear. They're not even in playoff standing. They're not even, in my opinion, not even in wild card standing. And this guy, Skip Bayless, is literally berating Shannon Sharpe, a man who has played numerous amount of years in the NFL, has won 3 Super Bowls. That's not easy to do. It's not even easy to win 1 Super Bowl or to get to that point. It's not easy. And you have Skip Bayless, who's sitting across from him, literally talking down on this man's accomplishments while holding up Tom Brady. You literally heard it right there towards the end of the clip where I paused it at, where he said he's better than you. You heard Skip Bayless yell it at the Shannon Sharpe. He said he's better than you. And Shannon was like, how come every time we bring up Tom Brady and how I have my criticisms of Tom Brady, you come at me talking about, oh, I'm jealous of him. He's just critiquing the man. It has nothing to do with jealousy. He never said that Tom Brady was a bad quarterback or that Tom Brady was just a lackluster player. He just is pointing out criticisms with him like everyone else gets criticisms point out about him. But for Skip Bayless, that's bad. And the thing is, I don't think Skip Bayless has even met Tom Brady. I don't even know if Tom Brady knows who Skip Bayless is on a personal level. He probably most likely has heard of him because, in the sports world, I'm sure that that name rings a bell. Now, mind you, Skip Bayless has never played on a professional level. This is the same guy that will hype up his high school career when he used to play basketball in high school. Okay, a lot of kids played high school and basketball. That don't mean they went to the NBA. This man peaked in high school. He didn't even go to college and play on a collegiate level. But he wants to go back and forth with a person who's most likely played high school football, college football, and in the NFL. And has the stats in all three to back it up. Like, make that make sense. I was actually watching 5150 when they were talking about this. And Dee made a very good point. She says, has anyone noticed that whenever it's someone who has never played a sport before or played on a professional level, they always seem to be bitter and jealous of those who do? That's a question that many of us have asked before in a rhetorical sense. And the answer to that question would be yes. We have noticed that. This man is very bitter that maybe his high school career did not go beyond high school. And he's feeling some type of way about it, that he has to sit across from a man who's more accomplished than he will ever be. If Shannon Sharpe was to want to get up from that table and walk out the door and start his own thing, Undisputed would fall because no one's going to sit there and watch just Skip Bayless host a show. Because honestly, when he was with Stephen A. for Asshole Smith, as much as as we loathe that man, no one was really watching First Take for Skip Bayless. They was watching to see whatever BS Stephen A. Smith was going to say. When it comes to Undisputed, no one's really there to see what Skip Bayless is going to say. They want to see what Shannon Sharpe is going to say, and in some cases do. Because let's be honest, whenever they talk about Undisputed, they always imitating Shannon Sharpe. When he be like, Skip, 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 or when he pulling out the black and mild. In what aspect is anybody imitating or mocking Skip Bayless? This is probably the most people has ever talked about Skip Bayless ever. He's probably loving it right now because he's getting some form of attention, even if it's in a negative light. He wants so bad to be acknowledged by Tom Brady. It's the weirdest thing. I wouldn't be surprised if that man has a shrine of Tom Brady in his home. But let me get back into it.
See what you do? You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal
Put your glasses back on.
Now, this is the part right here that you see on the screen when Shannon Sharpe took his glasses off and put it on the table. That's how you knew Shannon was fed the fuck up with Skip Bayless. Because Shannon Sharpe never takes his glasses off. Even if it's a heated discussion, he never takes the glasses off. As a matter of fact, that's a telltale sign when someone is ready to throw hands. Anybody it's certain things you can see when someone's ready to fight. When they take their glasses off, for girls, if they taking their earrings off or putting their hair in a ponytail if it's down. If they taking their jackets off, it's certain things that you see. This man looked like he wanted to launch across that table, but then he said, I have to remember where I'm at. This is exactly why I said in a stream, and I said it on here before, I am so glad that we in the Voices of the New Black Media are not bound by a contract. That's why we can say what we say at length, but we're not completely on a leash, so to speak. Shannon Sharpe can only go but so far. That's why when Corey Holcomb at 5150 be saying the stuff that he says is raw and as crazy as it is, he's not bound by a contract. That's why he says the stuff that he says. He's pretty much a freelance comedian. He's not tied to, as far as I know, any type of an agency. Sure, he has managers, of course, because every talent has to have managers. But when I say tied to like contract, I mean like you're not signing your life away to something that says you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. Shannon Sharpe, on the other hand, he has signed a contract with Fox Sports, because I believe that's where Undisputed is at. So he has to tread lightly, as much as he would love to go completely all the way in. And this is as far as I have ever seen him go. I have never seen him blow up like this. Ever. Like taking the glasses off, that's wild. I've never seen him do that. But he knows he can only go but so far, because the contract, he still got bills. I don't know what Shannon does outside of Undisputed, but maybe he needs to look into some more investments. That way, this is his only the only thing he has to rely on, just in case one day he gets the courage to actually lift that hand up, and it just kind of swings across Skip Bayless's face like a damn pendulum. I'm just saying. And I didn't like how Skip Bayless said that when he said, "Put your glasses back on," almost like he was a parent trying to discipline their child. He's not his child. That is a grown man.
Finish. You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
Go ahead.
Now, peep that right there. He says you're willing to take a dig at me, berate me, try to undermine my accomplishments in the NFL because I told you that your favorite player, a guy that you helm up in almost in the spectrum of God, is playing bad this year, which he is. And that's why he said you're just trying to take that out on me. Peep how Skip Bayless, I'm going to rewind it a little bit, and peep how he starts stuttering.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
Go ahead.
You disrespect him.
He stutters and then he lies and says, "You disrespected me." If that is not one of the most whitest, I'm dropping PC right now. If that is not one of the most whitest Karen acts I have ever seen displayed on television, I don't know what is. You told this man to his face that Tom Brady is better than him, and then have the nerve to also tell this man to his face that he disrespected you. You literally undercut this man's accomplishments in front of him. And when he claps back at you, and rightfully so, you clam up and tell him the reason you did it is because you disrespected me. I just want y'all to really let that marinate. What just happened there? He pulled a whole white ass Karen move. That's something they would do. I just want y'all to understand that.
So you know what? It's beneath your
You would
dignity.
disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player ever played your game, and it's by far.
Now, he's doubled down on what he just said. Let me rewind that. Just in case y'all didn't catch it. By this time, Shannon has put his glasses back on. I just wanted to point that out to you.
Respect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your dignity.
He said it's beneath your dignity. He's literally trying to make Shannon Sharpe make it seem like he's the bad guy right now.
To support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player ever played your game, and it's by far.
He said, so Shannon said, so you will disrespect, you will put disrespect me, support him over me. I'm trying to get it right because everything is happening so fast. I'm sure some of y'all in the chat are catching it. He says you will you would just basically flat out disrespect me, and then Skip basically comes back and says, yes, I will disrespect anybody because he's the greatest of all time in the sport that you play. Now he has elevated Tom Brady to the greatest NFL player of all time. When we all know that is a lie. And we don't have to undercut his accomplishment or his achievements as a quarterback to say that, but to simply sit up there and say that he's the greatest of all time is a lie. And see, here's the thing. In a sport like football, preferably the NFL, and we can throw the NBA in there as well, but we'll focus on the NFL right now since this is the topic. We all know when it comes to the players who dominates on that field. We know who dominates on that roster as a whole. It's black men. It's a black dominated sport. It's the white players are very much in the minority. Whenever they get one that comes around, how many every years it does happen, they will do their best to hold that one up in high esteem, no matter how mediocre they may be. Then they will push them out into the masses' faces as much as they can so they can hop on board with it too. That is why they call it the Great White Hype or the Great White Hope. That is where Tom Brady sits at right now as it pertains to this situation that is going on right here with Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless needs to hold him in high regard no matter how bad he is. Shannon was right to call out that this man is not having a good season. Many of us said that he should have stayed retired and were pissed that he got back in. It was like, Tom Brady, you're done. Retire. That's probably why your wife now your ex-wife stepped out on you. She probably was saying, I want you at home. You know, you're done with the NFL. Be home with me in our family. But oh no, he had to hop his ass right back onto that field, and she hopped her ass right in with the pool boy. Or whoever it was she was messing around with. And for her, it probably wasn't even, it couldn't have been a thing of money because clearly Tom Brady is the financial breadwinner. So the money for her wasn't a thing if that's who she was messing around with. So what does that tell you? But as far as with Skip Bayless, when he said he's the greatest of all time in a sport you play, like I said, this man is leading the Tom Brady Stan Club account. I hope he gets at least an autograph from Tom Brady one day. I have yet to even see this man interview Tom Brady or speak with him or anything like that. Could he have possibly met him? I don't know. I really don't care. But he's holding the water for a person that probably wouldn't even give him 2 glances. And literally threw his co-host under the bus to hold up someone who literally had a lot of people or a lot of teams built around him to make him seem like he was godlike. Let's not forget what happened with Deflategate with them footballs. Let's not forget what happened when they played, Seattle in the Super Bowl that one year. Y'all couldn't tell me they didn't throw that game in order for Tom Brady to win. Y'all know exactly what Super Bowl I'm talking about. There was that moment when I knew the NFL was rigged. How ironic that the 2 times that they were rigged, that we found that there was some rigging going on. Both of them involved Tom Brady. One with the footballs and one with that damn Super Bowl game against, was it Seattle? Was it Seattle? Or was it the Panthers? I can't remember what team it was. Y'all let me know. I think it was the Panthers, though. I think it was when they was playing Cam Newton. I don't think it was Seattle. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was Seattle as well. But either way, it was some shady stuff going on there. And I bet Skip Bayless held that up too. Again, that's mediocrity supporting mediocrity. But I'm going to end it off right here by saying this. Shannon Sharpe, in this moment, you got your wake-up call. And I keep telling people, when white individuals give black people wake-up calls, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. When black people get their wake-up call, it's going to be PC that's going to be the one to give it to them. The ones whose ass they kiss so much are going to be the ones to do it. Even when we constantly give warning and warning signals, warning signs, and all the warnings and whatnot, they still don't get it until PC is the one that gives them that swift kick in the ass. And this was Shannon Sharpe's moment right here in living color, high definition. One other thing that made this whole situation so egregious on Skip Bayless' part is because what he did in undermining and undercutting Shannon Sharpe's success in the NFL, especially as a black man, is that this is no different than what the establishment has been doing to black men in other industries as well, in undercutting their successes. You know, they always have to make sure or put out there that if a black man is very successful, then they'll have to come behind him and say that some other person of another demographic, specifically one of the white kind, did it better. Somehow, some way. A black man could have found the cure for cancer, and then they'll say that's okay, but this guy did something much more amazing. So that's what makes this even more insulting, even beyond Shannon Sharpe. This is just a direct insult to black men everywhere, especially if they have accomplished something, a man of extreme accomplishments. Look at Robert F. Smith. This man is the wealthiest black man in America. And I'm sure it's someone out there that will say that someone else is way of another demographic is doing way better than him because he may not live his life in the public eye. So somehow they're better just because of that.